hey, if you have one of these yellow sawmills, these frontier sawmills, I think Woodland Mills is very similar. There's some problems with them, and they make them affordable for, you know, the average person. So they skip on some things that maybe can make the experience better for us. So a big issue for these sawmills are these rails and trying to keep them clean. Frontier sends us some sweepers when you get your mill, and I soak them. This is transmission fluid and diesel mixed together. This is I use synthetic it is synthetic transmission fluid. I salvaged it. Somebody was going to throw it out. It's never been used. It was a 5-gallon jug, 3/4 full when I got it. So these just sit in the front, and they ride on the rail, and they collect the dust. They do a pretty good job, but they don't get it all. And if you have one of these mills, you'll know that you'll start building up sawdust. The sawdust falls between these uprights here, these supports, this structure here. So I come up with a solution for it, and let me show you what I'm thinking about. I watched Dave from Old Man in a Sawmill this past winter. He was working on his wood miser, cleaning it. And they have their rails on the bottom, I believe it was. And he took it off, and his track sweeper was literally that long. And I believe it had oil ports and everything in it. So I've seen guys tape them, like my friend Nick from Every Day With Me. Nick, he's got tape across his, keeps the sawdust from going in there. All right, so what I thought of after seeing Dave's video, I said, okay, I can block that off somehow, but I also want to build a track sweeper, and I thought that was a great idea. Something that will run along, not only block the sawdust from going in there, keep it clean, shined up, no dust on it. Because if you have one of these mills, you know when you're pushing it, you'll hit that dust and it'll start bumping up. Even with these sweepers on it, you still have problems. I have a little tool that I use to scrape the wheels. It's kind of a pain in the butt at times. So after seeing that, I have these wooden blocks, 2 inches thick, that fit in here. And I also put in some gasket material there. It's stove gasket material I had laying around, 1/2 inch. And it's centered on here. I fixed it with JB Weld, mashed over the sides a little bit. And I also have holes drilled all the way through, bored a little bit bigger down below, but not all the way through. So on the top, I can squirt some transmission fluid down in it, and then cap them with a screw. That way I can always keep those soaked up. So let me show you what we're gonna do here, how we're gonna do this. Put this away before I spill it. And Jerry, let's double check and make sure you turned record on. The first thing I did is I removed the motor, and I just wanted to see how easy this moves. Because once I put those on, I don't want too much drag on it. I just want them sliding across the top. I have a pretty good clunk right there that I need to address in time. Right there. Yeah, that's... So I just really wanted to see how it feels. So I pre-made these blocks. I have some screws in there that I had to work around, but I've already soaked these in transmission fluid. So I'm just going to drop them in. That's sitting right on it. Here's the first one. This one has a couple screws in there, so I had to remove the motor to get this one in. Put that back up there. There we go. Just like that. See how it slides now with those on. All right, very pleased. I'm going to attach them though. I have some screws. So I'm going to pre-drill them as well. This is oak and I don't want those screws to snap. So how do we want, how much pressure? Maybe like that. I have all the blocks in. So now what I'm going to do is hook the motor back up and see how it goes. It pushes the same as it did before. Not much different. And now I'm going to have some nice shiny tracks. I can actually see a little film. Nice. Well, really the only thing now to do is just try it with the motor. It pushed just fine without the motor. Let's see how it, make sure everything's up and running. Now that I had to take the motor off. All right. 24 volts. Forward. Okay, that limit switch works. Backwards is working, and that limit switch is, all right. This is where a lot of us use the phrase game changer. This is going to be a game changer. No, this isn't going to be a game changer, but it is going to keep my tracks clean. And I'm happy about that. I thought about this for a long time. And after seeing Dave's video about his wood miser and working on that, fantastic. So I don't see why this isn't going to work. And I was able to get some more oil down in each one of those holes. Those little, I'm going to call them scupper holes. And behind that, it's about an 1/8 inch diameter. I think I used actually a 187 diameter there, 3/16. And behind it, I have a 3/8 hole on the back side of that gasket material. So it's should, in theory, just soak right down into it. That's my plan, anyhow. I don't know. I'm just trying to keep these clean, and I can see a. No, I don't really. It's just they're shiny. They're shiny. So if you have one of these, you can feel those bumps when you hit them. It gets a little sticky, kind of like I got to fix that rail. There's a little bump down there. I have to lay a straight edge over it. I've really been considering welding this whole thing together. And maybe put some different gussets across the each seam and welding that all in. Get it on a nice flat surface. And what do I have flat enough? I probably have the driveway with a cement slab. So that's how I solved it. That's how a guy who overthunk too much and made it way more complicated than he needed to. That's me. I do that all the time. Follow my builds. They're never non-complicated. So, all right, guys, take care. We'll see you out here next time.